Don Katz, founder and CEO of Audible and founder of Newark Venture Partners. Good to see you, my friend, Don Katz.
Good to see you, Steve. Wonderful.
You're here with us in our New York City studio at WNET, right?
Right.
But your operation is out of Newark. We also talked to you last time, I think, at NJIT, Newark and New Jersey Institute of Technology. Tell folks what Newark Venture Partners is all about and why it matters.
Right. Well, Audible moved to Newark in 2007 and has really just thrived being part of the city. And
P.S., if those who don't know what Audible is?
Audible.com is the big audiobook download service that happily is a big global company now with 16 global centers and people all over the world, and actually came to Newark with only about 100 employees, and there's about 1,000 now, and we keep growing. And I don't know if you heard, but we're taking over a big church down the street at 15 James Street, and going to rehab that whole gigantic church near our campus and turn it into a tech cathedral. So it's
a big deal.
It's a lot of fun going stuff and being in Newark, and plus working at Audible kind of means you're part of a great urban comeback story, which is the way we see things going for Newark, which is a city that's only 18 minutes from Penn Station, not far from where we are here, but is kind of not part of the conversation when you think of what's happening in places like Brooklyn and even in Queens. And Newark Venture Partners is one of those things that shouldn't be that hard to do, in that there's a huge innovation economy just in this city, an overabundance of companies that don't have places to work, don't have accelerators to be nurtured in, which is what's happening in early stage tech. So fairly shortly, we're going to finish a 25,000-foot accelerator that's in the building Audible's in, which is part of the Rutgers Business School at One Wash. It's going to have the fastest bandwidth literally you've ever heard of, and then we're raising a fund that is to support companies that we'll invest in, because basically what's come in, this isn't just Newark, it's Detroit, it's it's Las Vegas, it's other cities, even parts of Washington. Everybody kind of realizes if you don't tether challenged urban cores to early stage tech, which is where all the growth is, then you're not going to get job creation at all levels of the economy. And so I think it's a positive for the city, and it's also great for the investors.
Let's take a step back. Newark Venture Partners, so that people can really understand what it is. $50 million coming from where?
Investors.
Investors.
Right.
$50 million set aside to help whom to do what?
So it's to literally attract companies that are at early stage, very early stage, seed stage, who then go into an accelerator run by Newark Venture.
What does an accelerator mean?
An accelerator is a workspace. It's a very cool workspace, like Audible's headquarters. But when you go there with a little company, unlike when I started Audible, where I was kind of on my own, even though I had fancy venture capital, mentors and different kinds of helpers come and work with you, almost like an academic cycle. So you might be in there for 25 weeks, and the company gets people from my company, including rocket scientists, technologists, and the best finance people, the best marketing people, to come down and help you accelerate the growth of your business, accelerate the science you're developing, accelerating your entry into the market. And you basically give a little bit of your equity up for the privilege. And if, in fact, it's a company that we believe in, and particularly a company that might want to grow like Audible did in Newark, then there's venture capital to put in.
What does that mean, venture capital?
Venture capital is basically a way of putting money in, buying a piece of a company that allows that company to execute its business plan.
How do these companies qualify? Say somebody watches and says, "Well, I've got an idea." That's not enough. How do they get a piece of this $50 million?
That's a good question. So listen, as you may know, just about every college kid knows how to write a business plan now.
That's right.
Because starting a company now is a much less costly thing for a lot of different reasons, largely Amazon's cloud system.
Right.
You can rent systems that we've spent millions and millions of dollars to build. So, but basically, if your plan qualifies to get you into this class, it's almost like hundreds and hundreds of companies apply. A small number kind of make the cut because of the quality of their presentation, the character of the entrepreneurs, the integrity of the business plan. Then you get to go into this acceleration phase, and then that's called a seed stage investment. And then what you want next is the A round. And this is just classic stuff about how returns come to investors and companies grow fast. And the fact of the matter is, if you're in the world of money, the only place where you get multiples of X, meaning 10x returns or 100x returns is when you get the companies really early. It doesn't happen on the stock market anymore. So it's an important part of the economy. The important thing, though, is that it's where all job growth is happening.
So it's interesting. We're here in Lincoln Center, and the Lincoln Center of today is clearly not the Lincoln Center of, I don't know, 20 years ago?
Yep.
Didn't look like this. Didn't have what is going on here today. This studio was not here. So much of what is going on today in Newark that you have been a leader in, and so many other colleagues of yours, not enough, are trying to build something. Describe what you think that will be. It's not Lincoln Center, but it's something special.
Well, it's funny because the analogy is really interesting. So I was around here in those very early days.
Lincoln Center.
Lincoln Center was a complete island, as is the Prudential Center, which is one of the great arenas in the country, as is NJPAC, which is one of the great concert halls in the country, because there's not a lot of vibrant street life as there is around here. But I was here in the early 80s when
It didn't look like, we're looking outside right now. It didn't look like this.
Amsterdam Avenue, right over here, was a ghost town in the early 80s.
Way over on the west side.
Yeah, and it's just literally all the way up Amsterdam Avenue and Columbus Avenue, too. Entrepreneurs came in, and they basically changed the character of the streetscape through all kinds of new shops and frankly, it was a lot of those entrepreneurs were gay entrepreneurs, and it's really a pattern that has turned city blocks around for 2 generations of
Newark
people.
be?
Well, Newark has to basically grow other audibles and jobs and things, because basically you can do it all you want to the streetscape, and you put a lot of buildings up. And economic development in the East is actually different than it is anywhere else, because people still think putting a building up is how you turn a city around. It doesn't work that way. It's what's in the building. So government would move, big corporations, and it still happens, from here to here on the taxpayer, but those companies haven't grown jobs, that nothing much happens. So basically Newark has all kinds of building going on. The NJPAC is a really strong institution that's actually growing, as you know.
Sure.
Rutgers is now under the stewardship of an amazing leader in Nancy Cantor, who left being the president of Syracuse, quite a nice job, to be part of this urban transformation. And a lot of people, including the mayor, including our senators and other people who showed up at the Newark Venture Partners launch, are very focused on an urban comeback for a city like Newark. But it's a model, and it has to be clear that it's no different in Trenton or Camden or Rochester or New Haven. All the cities around the New York area are literally having the life sucked out of them over the last 15 years, as the wealth that left New York for 20 or 30 years is now going back. And it's a phenomenon that people need to actually address with capital and the kind of things we're doing.
You're bullish.
I'm totally bullish about it, and I'm probably more impatient than people that we both know in Newark. And we still are looking for more investors, and people should be aware there's a lot of ways to help this cause. But it's very clear that if you create a tech job, 5 service-level economy jobs are created, and then we need jobs and we need taxable revenue in Newark.
Don Katz, we appreciate everything you do. We need more leaders like you to build cities like Newark. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by United Airlines, Investors Bank, Holy Name Medical Center, Health Republic Insurance of New Jersey, Fedway Associates, Partners for Health Foundation, and by ADP. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.